How about some Watch This Bitches?
Sure. Am I the only one here that finished The Defenders?
Yes.
How much of it did you watch?
Maybe 4 episodes. 5.
Okay, so halfway.
Maybe 5. I'm not sure. It's not that exciting so far.
There's only 8, so
yeah.
You might as well finish it up.
Well, we will. It's
okay.
It's I don't know. I'm not super blown away by it, but
it's not super blowing away in general.
Just blows.
It's not. It just blows. It doesn't blow. It's not terrible. It's just, yeah. It's okay. It's fine. That's all.
You're really selling this. It's okay.
I know.
It's fine. It's only 8 episodes.
I wanted it to be much better. It's a little bit of a letdown.
Everybody does.
I know. When the characters, when the 4 defenders interact with each other, it's enjoyable. I think the actors, well, the Iron Fist actor is not the best, but the other 3 actors are good enough where they can play off each other well and make it and have it be interesting to watch. The villains are a big letdown because they're just there. They never seem as threatening as I think they're supposed to seem.
Well, it's Sigourney Weaver, and an old Chinese lady.
Yeah, and the thing is, the old Chinese lady has been there since the beginning, and now it's like, and you think she's this, big, powerful thing, and then it's like, well, she's not the big, powerful thing. And it's like, I guess. I don't know. It's muddled. They spend way too much time sometimes on certain scenes. My wife, who was not watching this with me, was in the room when I was watching an episode. And the bad guys were just in a room talking for what I think may have been 15 minutes. Just them sitting around a table talking. And my wife looks up and she goes, "Why are they still talking?" And I said, "I do not know."
How come people are not being punched?
Yeah, and why is it? And it's characters that I honestly, of the 5 people in the room, I knew 2 names of the 5 people, and I didn't care to learn the other 3 people's names, and they just kept talking. And I'm like, I get it. You're the bad guys. All you have to do is this is a 30-second scene. You sit in a room, you just reiterate where the bad guys, and then you cut to the good guys, and then someone gets punching. And they couldn't make that work. Everything that the Netflix Marvel shows really has sort of gone downhill since the first season of Daredevil.
Well, you can't make too much of a good thing.
Make the movies. These characters don't deserve more screen time than the characters that are in the movies.
That's true, and that's just it. Is at the end, you're right, because these characters get significantly more screen time. And I liked the Luke Cage series a lot. The Jessica Jones series I liked a lot. But it did suffer from those same problems where it's just too long. There's just too much filler, not enough killer. But
it's a little bit of problem in just that you can watch them all at once, right? Like if they were coming out on a weekly basis and it felt like, okay, they're producing these every week and maybe something will change. Like a traditional TV show type of thing.
And I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. benefits from that. Because I know I'm in the minority, but I think that's an excellent TV show. I think last season was really entertaining television. And I don't know if I had it all to binge watch at once if I would have felt the same way.
I think just having, knowing that there's a finite number of episodes, in a series, that's what it's going to be. That essentially tells me it's a movie, just a really long, drawn-out movie.
And that's sort of the problem with it, is that it doesn't excuse me, it doesn't need to be, though. It could be, and I've talked about this before, it could be, 2 movies, or an 8-episode thing really is 4 movies. And they should have finite caps. Maybe you have a cliffhanger at the end of that first movie to bring you into the second movie, or maybe you don't. Maybe you cut to 3 months later in between episode 2 and episode 3. It doesn't have to be one 8-episode story arc. if you can't make it fit. And they can't make it fit. Like, they haven't been able to make it fit. And there hasn't been a good bad guy on those shows. Well, Jessica Jones is bad guy. Purple Man was really good.
Yeah, he was pretty creepy.
Yeah, he was excellent. And Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin was also excellent.
Yep.
And if you don't have a bad guy of that caliber, even with Sigourney Weaver playing the villain, there was nothing to it.
She doesn't do much, at least in the parts that I've seen. She just sort of sits around and...
Yeah. Except for there's one scene where she fights, and it's so obviously a stunt double, it's laughable. It's like something out of a Mystery Science Theater movie.
Right. I saw one where she like flipped somebody. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
It was very quick.
Oh, so it was...
Yeah.
It was bananas.
Yeah. I laughed during that.
Mm-hmm.